Hello friends, my name is Weston, and you're listening to Profoundish. Alex will be joining me as we discuss what is a Halloween song, what makes music Halloween-y, and also, what is the scariest Halloween candy. You're listening to Profoundish.
Just change the entire intro and just start it with a barbershop quartet of all right, all right, all right. Profoundish, you know.
With a little like a sparkle like sound effect in the background. Profoundish.
Define. Could you break that down for me? Define a sparkle.
Yeah, I just did.
Can you give me a little more? Like, is that someone's voice doing that?
No, like a imagine like, you know, you're watching a cartoon and someone waves like a magical wand and you've got little sparkles coming out of it. It goes kind of like a whoosh.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean now. But when I heard I pictured, is this like there's a little person running across the floor? Like, what's going on?
You didn't vividly imagine a sparkle sound like what I was playing in my head. You didn't just imagine that? Just
I'm sorry, I wasn't in your head just there.
How my amazing sound effects, which could have been anything.
I mean, it is kind of incredible, though. As soon as you told me, like, a magic wand, then I understood.
Right. I think, well, there's a lot of, well, that sounded like a sword being unsheathed.
Yeah, you're right.
But
it's hard to mimic that.
There's a lot of sound effects that, like, are borrowed, like it's like mystical sound effects that you wouldn't hear in reality, but like from show to show or movie to movie or whatever, we all know what it like would sound like if it was real, like the magic wand thing or something, or if someone was casting I'm thinking of like magic stuff because like that's like fantasy, but like even if it's a sound you've never heard in your life, in real life, you know what it'd probably sound like based on some fictitious thing that you've read or seen.
Sure. Like, I think if you just lined a bunch of people up, just average Joes, and just say, we're going to give you a list of 5 different sounds or something. Or no, I don't know how he would do it.
Actually,
everybody would have the
really
same idea.
That would be fun. Like with my duh. It's like you line up 15 people and separate them. I need you to make a sparkle sound effect with your mouth and see what you get from everybody. That would be fun.
That exercise would be, because I am curious. Because that's just not something that is so synthetic. Like, that is just, it's nothing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know how. Like, when I went, sing, in my head I heard it, but you're right, it's like a sword, like, coming out of its, what's it called? What's it sit in?
A sheath.
A sheath, yeah, right. And then you just pull it out. Yeah, something like that. But, I get what you're doing. And that almost like sounds, it's almost kind of like wind chimey.
Ooh. That's more like bling, 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 bling.
But I feel like if you take that and you speed it up, like really fast, like the little blips and blops are going to sound magical again.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's weird.
It'd be fun too. You line up like 15 people, but like 5 of them are like a cappella like experts or something.
Right. Who knows? There's probably people out there who can nail that stuff.
At least one like beatboxer or something.
Well, listen, that's almost a whole other thing. Beatboxing, like, the beatboxing itself is kind of cool, but the beatboxers who can do the multiple different, like, there's people who can, like, kind of beatbox, but also, like, sing a melody while they do it and make it sound like there's, like, 4 instruments coming out of their mouth at once. That is very impressive.
I don't know how I know how you physically practice that. You're in a room and you just start going nuts making sounds, right? I know physically how you practice that. I don't know how you practice that to the point where you make it so convincing. Because I know, I mean, I guess maybe recording yourself a lot and hearing it back, I guess. Because in your own head, you're going to hear things different than the sounds you're actually making. Because, you know, we all sound different to ourselves than we actually do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably it, actually. There's probably a lot of, like, recording yourself and listening and going, I don't like how that sounds. I should change this a little bit. Because, yeah, you do hear yourself differently. Even just you, not even in the sense of, I hate how I sound when I talk, like, and then it's not what other people hear. It's like you just sound differently in your own head in that space.
Yeah,
it's
you
just different.
You just do.
It's like right, like if you plug your ears, hearing that's really weird. Have you ever like just talked and like plugged your ears?
Yeah, it's
and
like
you could just
muffled.
hear the inside of yourself.
Like you're underwater. I could hear my inside head. What?
Yeah, it's the beatboxing is very impressive. I can like do beatboxing, like just like very basic beats, and that's not because I practice, but just because I have a good sense of rhythm just with my musical background. But yeah, anything past that, it has to take a lot of time to nail something like that. But it's very impressive when I see it.
You know what there isn't a lot of? Like Halloween-themed music.
You know, you're right. There really actually isn't compared to like Christmas, for example.
There really is, like, there's some things that are maybe from like soundtracks, like anything from like Nightmare Before Christmas. You're like, oh yeah, Sally's song, that's Halloween-y. It's like, well, that's just like a Halloween-based movie, and you just took the soundtrack from it. No one's really making Halloween music. I go the same way with Thanksgiving that will be coming up. There's no Thanksgiving music, like just at all. I mean, someone will have an exception out there, but like by and large, none. Halloween, I guess there's some stuff that's like dark or like ambient. Like you can get like spooky ambient stuff for like parties, but not like music other than Monster Mash.
That's different. You can find ambient stuff for anything. But it's not like iconic like Monster Mash is, or every single frickin' Christmas song that exists. You know, like no one's gonna listen to an ambient horror track or like Haunted Mansion track, not the movie, just like Haunted track or whatever. And,
right, just
and
like
recognize it
or whatever.
You know?
And recognize it, or just for easy listening. Like, oh yeah, I gotta get some work done. I'm gonna turn on the orchestral, the Latin spooky ghost screaming in the background, organ playing, whatever.
And is that just inherently because of what it is? At first, I think that because it's all really, because it is really spooky. But then you got Monster Mash, which is like, it's not scary. It's kind of spooky. It's spooky fun, and spooky and scary are different. And I can't define how, but I think you know exactly what I mean between like with something spooky and scary.
Spooky, scary. Well, because spooky is like,
exactly.
You know, maybe you get an EBGB, but like you laugh after. Whereas scary is like, I wet myself.
Right. Like I can't go to bed or whatever. Like
I'm staying up.
Right. What's it called? Monster Mash is like, I mean, it's just like an old like 60. I don't know what year when it came out. I think it's 60s, but it's like an old, just kind of dancey pop kind of sounding song. But it's got like, it's a little spooky because the singer sounds like a, you know, that low voice and all that, like almost kind of ghostly in a way. It was a graveyard smash, you know. And
1962, you were super close.
62, okay. Yeah, I figured it just seemed very 60s because it had like the call and response like they used to do in the 60s, like the Monster Mash, like the three girls on the side. He's doing the mash, right. You know. That's very 60s. But yeah, like that's what I mean. Like it's really more just kind of pop. But even when I think of, no, I don't know the origins of this, but you just referenced it. Spooky, scary skeletons.
Right.
Is that like an ironic thing, or is that actually something that came out a long time ago and it's kind of like an iconic song? Because I know it memed, but I don't know its origin.
The Spooky, Scary Skeletons, I don't know if it released as a song first or not. It came from an old like cartoon. Spooky Scary Skeletons is a Halloween song by American musician Andrew Gold, first released on his 1996 album Halloween Howls Fun and Scary Music. Okay, so yeah, I guess he released it as a song first, but they ended up putting it to like a skeleton cartoon animation, just like a random old animation of some kind from forever ago. But
okay, that's actually newer than I thought. I thought that was as old as like Monster Mash was.
That is newer than I thought too, actually. But I've seen it, or maybe, you know what? Maybe what I've seen is when it turned into a meme. Maybe people put it over like an old cartoon. Because have you seen that? Like it's a black and white skeleton cartoon thing that the song is always attached to. Maybe that's not an old cartoon. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a newer cartoon than I thought. I have no idea.
Me neither. But let's look at it this way: we just named two songs. One was made in 1962, and the other one was made in 1990, whatever, six or something.
Yeah.
Like, what about these other 30 years? And what about the 30 years since then? What is there?
There's nothing coming out in between. And I guess what like I'm especially looking for is like lyrical stuff, something with words to it that is Halloween related, not just creepy sound music,
right?
Like not just you know, acoustic music or whatever. I mean, like something with lyrics that's like about monsters or like
the Halloween stuff, because I know quite a few songs in the like hip hop and metal genres where the words are very scary,
right?
But they're not Halloween. Like there's some songs I've heard that, have really kind of, while listening to it, I'm thinking this is really effed up, and I don't like listening to this. Like I really felt that way, but that's not Halloween music. That's just creepy, scary lyrics. And yes, that's different. I don't know why. Will it just feel kiddish? Like the spooky, scary skeletons? Is that why? Because you're singing about monsters and ghouls and ghosts. Like, is that why? Because Christmas...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it does feel kiddish, or at least approachable for a younger audience. Those songs that we mentioned, but...
I just feel like there still could be room, because like maybe like there could be like fun story songs, or kind of like, even kind of comedy-ish, but like in that vein about monsters or ghosts or something Halloween-y.
Or I'm even imagining like story-ish, right? Where like you could tell the story of a haunting or something that by itself the lyrics would be scary, but the music itself is approachable enough to be still a catchy song in its own right. Like you could absolutely do that.
People love stories, and there's a lot of story songs. So I was going to make the comparison to Christmas, and the first thing I was just going to say was... or I guess not a comparison, it's the opposite really, but I was saying Christmas, there's so much more behind the scenes happening with Christmas for what it means to people, and, you know, it's a much broader scope, so that inherently makes sense as to why there's so many more songs, because it's, you know, it's about, you know, for some people it's religious, for some people it's about love and giving things and being with family, and there's just way more to it, so, which I think just kind of lends itself to easily making more songs, and because those themes are so universal, you know, so of course there's going to be songs that everybody can relate to. You know, maybe not everyone's into monsters, you know?
Because like I do feel like fear or spooky stories or like ghost stories or things that you tell each other just like to spook. I feel like fear or spooking friends or whatever is like universal on some level, right?
You're right.
Like, peekaboo is a freaking scary story for infants, right? Like, I'm not here. Yeah. Boo, now I am. Ah! That's like, peekaboo, like, is pretty, maybe not universal, but pretty ubiquitous in some way.
Yeah.
And that's at the infant level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I feel like we could do, like, spooky, not, like, outwardly, like soul-shatteringness or whatever, but that sort of fun level of, like, this is like Halloween-y, but not like, you know, like you said, like really intense death metal about flesh and hell or something. Like it doesn't have to be too intense. Like I just mean like a dialed back, like 5 to 7 level intensity. You know what I mean? For Halloween,
I like 5 to 7. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, right. And it's and that's okay to be in that 5 to 7 range, because most people are only going to listen to it when they kind of want to be in that mood anyway, which would be during this time of the year. So that makes sense.
Same thing with Christmas music. You don't listen to it year round unless you're just like really into it. But like it's something you just listen to in December. We can come out with Halloween stuff that's like you only listen to in like around October that isn't just Monster Mash and spooky scary skeletons.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, Weston, I think we have found a need.
I think so.
That we could hop in on this and cash in on some Halloween music.
I think we should. I think this is going to become our project next year, releasing a Halloween album.
That actually would be really cool.
I think it would be fun. I don't. You have more experience with albums than I do, but I think I could maybe write a song.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you could like put like you could write like the lyrics, and then we can kind of go over them, and then I can like put music to it, and then you can of course have your input on that too. Like we could really do something. I don't know, man. We have written a song before.
I'll absolutely put the shout out there for anyone listening right now. If you know of good like Halloween albums, EPs, musicians, songs to like add to our repertoire that isn't just spooky, scary skeletons and Monster Mash, well, I'm all ears. But
there has to be this. There has to be at least local bands that play at Halloween parties, and that probably a lot of their music has to be themed, right? Like I see like this local band of like 40-year-old guys going up there dressing up as silly Halloween monsters and making music. Like that doesn't seem odd to me. That seems like that would be happening somewhere at some big Halloween party on someone's block.
My brain is blanking. What's that band that it's like a 70s or 80s band that dressed up as like a fireman and like a policeman? What band am I thinking of?
Not Men at Work. What are they called?
I don't. I can't. My brain is blank. Head is empty.
They did YMCA.
Zero. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Who's saying? Hang on. Who? This is embarrassing. Who's saying YMCA?
No, I'm mad about it too. Hold on. Don't tell. If you look it up, don't say it.
I looked it up.
Don't say it. Give me the first letter.
V.
What? Just say it. I don't know. I'm gonna kick myself.
Village People. Village People. Did
the
YMCA.
Village People.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm imagining like a Village People, but for like one guy's a Frankenstein, one guy's a Dracula, one guy's a skeleton, one guy's like or maybe one gal's a witch or something,
I see that happening.
Oh, actually, okay, wait, Village People. What can we do with that? Hang on, like witch hunt or something. Like in village. Wait, what can we do with like haunted village or something? We could turn this into a parody somehow. Village People, Crypt People, Crypt People or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can even just call them the Crips. The Crypts.
Yeah, so right. I guess you have to be careful with that one. It sounds like, are we talking about the gang? Crips and
yeah,
Bloods?
That's true. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised. In fact, we won't make this all just a big Google search podcast, but like I do want to look up Halloween bands. I live in a big city. I wonder if there's somebody like, I'll even do Halloween bands for hire. I mean, that was suggested.
Because I also can't, like, I'm also not just looking for, like, cover bands of, like, songs that maybe very loosely, like, I don't know, She-Wolf by Shakira. That's kind of like a werewolf song. No.
Right.
That's right, exactly. I don't know why it's the first thing that comes to my mind, but, like, that's not what I'm talking about, but in the right direction. I can't believe I didn't think of Thriller. I guess it's Michael Jackson's Thriller. That's probably the biggest one, actually.
See, you know what's funny? Like, you're just used as part of your example is what you meant. You didn't mean like, because I don't consider that a Halloween song.
You don't consider Thriller a Halloween song?
No, I just consider it Michael Jackson's like biggest song ever.
Is it his biggest song? I mean, it is pretty big, so I guess maybe.
The album is his biggest ever, Thriller, so I'm assuming if the album is, the song probably is too. I mean, it's Thriller, for God's sake, right?
Because the song, for me, will always be, like, Halloween-related. Like, I don't casually listen to it in, I don't know, June. I mean, if you're listening to a bunch of, like, maybe older music from that, like, era, like Michael Jackson's era, and it comes on, then heck yeah, Thriller, let's go. But, like, for me, it'll always be reminiscent of, like, oh, yeah, it's like a Halloween song. Now, like Ghostbusters, I guess.
Interesting comparison. Okay.
Interesting, yeah. Like it'll make me, like Ghostbusters will make me think of Halloween, even if it's, I don't know, in the middle of May.
Interesting. So that doesn't do it for me either. I just think Ghostbusters is Ghostbusters. I think it's fitting for Halloween.
Right.
I think Thriller is fitting for Halloween. But now I wanted to ask this: do you often like picture the music video?
I mean, like
do you really tie that closely to it?
I think so. I mean, I think so. With the zombies coming out and running from the theater, and Michael Jackson's like a zombie at the end or whatever he is. Yeah, for sure.
So this could be the reason why, maybe at least for me, because maybe I'm the odd one here, because I didn't see the music video until years and years and years later. I grew up knowing Thriller without ever knowing the context. I just knew the song. So if you just listen to the song and just you're kind of vibing to it, especially as a 10-year-old and not really paying attention, it just sounds like a Michael Jackson fun song, because the music, or because the song cuts out a lot of the extra fluff in the music video because of course it does. There might be a long version that doesn't, but you know what I mean. I was just very familiar with but I was just very familiar with like the 3-minute radio cut or whatever.
I think the 3-minute radio cut still has the spooky laugh at the end though too, doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't.
It probably does. But for me, just no Halloween association, but it could be because I didn't see that until later, which by the way, when I did see the music video, freaked me out when he like transforms.
Yeah.
That freaked me out the first time I saw that. And I was not that young. It was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. Easy, MJ, easy.
I love the first time he transforms, like spooks the girl or whatever, and then they immediately cut to he's like dancing or whatever. Or maybe it's the first time the zombies show up because it's early on in the video. It's been a hot minute since I looked at it. So the first time the zombies show up and they're like ah or whatever, and then it cuts there on the street and the zombies are doing their stupid dance, and it's like it's not scary anymore because they're dancing.
So I did look this up and I wanted to say this. I was looking up like. So I live in Memphis, big town, so I figured there's got to be somebody who's like a Halloween band, right? So I looked it up, and there is a group, but they're an entertainment band, meaning they do Halloween, but they do other stuff too.
Right.
So I was hoping to see something a little more specific or niche, and it looks like I think they dress up and stuff, because like Halloween's one of their main things, but in this main picture here, it's just a bunch of people dressed in black, just smiling at the camera. So
if you're going to be a band that like plays at parties or whatever, you're probably not going to want to pigeonhole yourself to only Halloween parties because that's like just a very brief
like one time
in
a
the
year.
Yeah, very brief.
Like you're going to have to like work your ass off in October.
You're trying to land the one gig at the one billionaire's house or whatever to make it through the year.
Well, to be honest with you, that kind of, for me as a musician, that kind of sounds like the dream. Like
it
you
would
work
be.
your
I
ass
play
off
one party a year.
Yeah, like you work hard to put on the best party you can imagine for this billionaire, and you make like $100,000 on it. Like you get some crazy amount of money,
right?
And it's like okay, yeah, I'll do that, but it's got to be good. Like you got to really work towards it every year, like it's a big event. Because I mean, he's paying you that much money, so
that would have to be one wild part. Like I feel like what you're expected to do as a band is going to be like. Way more than just I'm going to put you on the stage in the corner and you're going to play in the background. I feel like you're going to be center of attention or something. You're going to have to like I don't know, roll some heads somehow.
It's just immediately as soon as you're done, it's immediately getting ready for the next year again already.
A whole year of prep, kind of like they do with the this is more Christmassy again. What's the Macy's Day Parade, or maybe it's not Macy's or whatever, the one with the giant balloons or whatever. They spend all year prepping that for that parade. Yeah.
That really is an all year thing. That's got to be, because obviously there's so much to it. They have to probably figure out the lineup, figure out who's there. I'm sure there's so many things that go wrong. There's cancellations. There's whatever. I wonder how many quote-unquote employees, I don't know if you want to call them that, but people who work on it are involved. Like, I would like to know how many people actually are involved to get that going, because I bet you it's thousands.
Especially for the all year round, because I bet it's quite a few people year round, but I do bet closer to crunch time, there's a lot more, like, come and go help that you get all of a sudden. So I don't know, by the time you're done with it all.
Do you, I know this isn't about Halloween music, but I'm curious, do you watch the parade?
Like if I'm at my parents' house, it's like on the TV. But if I'm like, if it's just me and the parade's playing, no, I don't really care. It's something to like have on the TV while you're with family or doing stuff, but I don't like watch it. Okay. And they usually replay it. I think like if you miss it the first time, they play it again. So I think I usually catch the later showing. I think ?
For me, I actually watch some of it until I get tired of watching it, and then I just leave it on in the background. But regardless, I mean, I'm usually with some bit of family somewhere during like Thanksgiving. But yeah, usually what'll happen is I'll go visit my parents who live a couple hours away. So I will get up in the morning, watch it, and then obviously it'll put it on pause, or not put it on pause, but go drive to my folks while it's still on, and catch the end of it at their house because they don't care. It's funny. It's not like a family thing for me. It's just a me thing. So, like I just like it. I don't know why.
Yeah, sure.
So Oops. Yeah, it works for me. I don't know, for all the holidays, starting with Halloween, I really like to get into it. But Halloween, for me, is the least amount because I don't like scary movies. So, like, it's kind of tough for me. But I do watch some, like, nostalgic scary movies every year. Like, I'll watch, like, Hocus Pocus or...
Okay.
Like, but, like, you know, just, like, but more, like, family-friendly kind of scary because I can't do it. Have you seen, I was trying to get, Steph hates scary movies, too. But I did want her to get her to watch Poltergeist. Have you seen Poltergeist?
I never saw Poltergeist, no.
It's PG, okay? So, like, it's not... No, this was also PG in the 80s, though, which translates more to PG-13 now. But, because remember, Jaws was also PG. So, just for perspective.
I never saw all of Jaws. I saw the first, like, 15 minutes of it and was so bored I just quit.
That is completely fair. It is a classic. It's been so long since I've seen it, I don't even know if I could really recommend it, but it scared the crap out of me, but I'm thinking this was PG? Because there's some violent stuff, but also a lot of it's not seen, it's just implied, right? So, but anyway, Poltergeist, I think is the perfect amount of scary, but it's also PG, so there's nothing gory, there's nothing really like super like demonic in it. It's really just some creepy scenes that kind of make you go, ooh, that scared me. And then that's it. And I was telling Steph, like, if there's going to be a scary movie you watch that you want to get a little scared at, I do recommend that movie because it is a great movie and it doesn't overdo it. So, like, you're not going to be shaking in your boots the rest of the night, you know?
Right.
So I might actually watch that this year.
I almost think by today's standards, which everyone's squeamishness for scary is going to be different, but almost any of those like classic 80s horror movies you could watch today and you're going to be fine because even the goriest ones, it's like the effects aren't the level that we're used to now. I'm sure they were great then or whatever, but what did I watch a couple Halloweens ago? I watched, what's the one with, was it Freddy? What's the one that has Freddy Krueger in it? No, I don't think it's Freddy Krueger. No, it's
Freddy Krueger's Friday the 13th. Or no, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hang on. Jason, maybe? It's the guy, he's a kid or something that escaped an asylum or some nonsense. Was it Friday the 13th?
See, I get them all mixed up.
I
haven't mixed them. There's Halloween, there's Friday the 13th, there's Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think it was Friday the 13th that I had watched for the first time a couple Halloweens ago. And I think it's either Jason or I'm getting it confused with someone else. And he goes around and murders these like teenage girls. A couple of them are real snotty. I think one of the boyfriends dies too or whatever. But anyway, I was watching that movie. It's probably not even...
go on, sorry.
It's probably not even Friday the 13th. I have no idea what movie I watched. Hang on, who are they? There's Freddy, there's Jason.
Wait, what's he look like? Tell me what it looks like and I can tell you.
He wears like a skin mask for a face. Who's that guy?
A skin mask?
Yeah, right? Like, who are the... Hang on, classic horror...
What does he wear? Does he have that weird hat?
He wears like a jacket or Michael Myers, that guy, that one.
Oh, that's Halloween.
Ha! I watched Halloween. This is how little I know. I watched Halloween a couple Octobers ago.
Yeah, that's Halloween. Yeah.
That guy.
Iconic theme song. Like those movies. I haven't seen. So I've only seen bits and pieces because even that makes me think I'll be scared. But I'm sure I'll be fine. I just haven't seen them. But I believe you wholeheartedly. Now there is this weird line though, and let me explain. I think you'll know what I mean. So I actually know that specifically because I've done 2 horror movie medleys, which requires research and watching trailers and scenes of these movies, and it freaks me the crap out. And so I've seen a lot of these old horror movies, and some of them, the oldness makes it scarier to me.
Oh, interesting.
So it's hard to explain. It's just a great example for me is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, that came out in the 70s. I'm pretty sure by today's standards that wouldn't be considered really rough at all, besides the concept of a guy with a chainsaw killing all these people. But but watching it now, it looks so old, and I don't know what other adjectives I would use to describe it, but it almost makes it feel like this looked like it actually really happened because it looks like somebody's old camera just caught all this on footage. And I think that's just a byproduct of its age now.
Probably
but
because it was more practical effects than special effects, so it feels like it's more real.
It's really bizarre. It's also similar. This is totally different, but I can explain it this way a little bit better, I feel like. So I'm going to do my obligatory Zelda reference here. So a lot of people talk about Ocarina of Time, and the original one had a lot of scary moments in it. And a lot of people say that a lot of the creepiness and the scariness comes from the rough graphics, because the game was remade 20 years later or whatever, or 10, 15 years later, the HD version, and all the same things were in there. There were spots that had like blood splatter and all this stuff on the walls and everything. But in the new version, it looked so clean and crisp that it really lost the scary edge that the old dungeons had. And people didn't know why, and they thought maybe it's because it looks so rough. And it's hard to explain. I don't know, but like to me, when something is older or rougher, it makes me feel more heebie-jeebie.
You get the effect of one, it looks less natural. It looks more unnatural when it's all like, not realistic graphics. And then also, however, if there's enough details that have to get left to your own imagination will scare you better than anything else that you can put to screen. I know, I was never a Zelda person, but they remade that Demon Souls game for the PS5. I never bought the PS5 version, but I played the PS3 version, that Demon Souls. And between the two, I remember playing the Demon Souls 1, and around every dark corner, like the game was kind of eerie, scary. Everything could kill you. I was terrified to progress in that game constantly for something to jump out at me or whatever, especially like the Tower of Latria, for anyone that's listening that knows what I'm talking about. It's a really dark, scary prison with squid-headed monsters that'll get you. Whatever. There's a bunch of gross stuff in that game that's really scary. But then they remastered it, and I'm like, I don't like it. It's too pretty. Like, the effects are amazing. The textures are top-notch. The game looks just top-tier amazing. But I hate it. Like, because it's not, I can't be scared creeping through every alley, turning a corner. I'm at the edge of my seat playing the original, but the remake it's too pretty. It's too pretty.
I think, so you get it. I think you totally nail it on the head when you said that, your brain will fill in the gaps a lot. Because that's actually what a lot of, I know retro game purists, I don't consider myself a purist, but I love retro games, but the purists, they own the old tube TVs.
Yeah.
They play these old games. I'm talking like the old Resident Evils and stuff too, like the old ones, like PS1, like on these old tube TVs, just because, like for the same exact reasons. It's left to the imagination, and it just feels so much darker. Like you can clean stuff up as good as you want, but it is going to lose that edge. I think you nailed it with your brain fills in a lot of the gaps. That makes sense.
That's all I can think of. I'll tell you what, Alex. Speaking of scary movies, what do you reckon is the scariest candy you can get on Halloween?
Ooh, I'm going to have to say... we're going to wait. Okay.
Let's discuss this on the other side of this ad break. Profoundish is brought to you in part by Magic Man Mo, a gaming YouTube channel run by me. We stream and we do variety Let's Plays. Check out a short stream compilation to see if it's something that you're going to be into. It's a lot of fun. I made it, so I know. That's Magic Man Mo on YouTube.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by Alex Duquette Medleys. I make theme song medleys, which is where I take a bunch of theme songs and mash them up into one bite-sized song. From Nickelodeon to Adult Swim, I cover it all. So, if you want to take a fun nostalgic trip, search my name, Alex Duquette, on YouTube, or go to alexduquette.net. Well, if you're doing a tier list the Alex Duquette style, you got candy here. Now, which one would you want to marry?
That's exactly what we're doing. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing a tier list of classic. I'm going to say classic. I just found a random list of Halloween-based candies on the internet. We're doing a tier list, but the catch is I want to determine not like what's the best candy or whatever. What candy do we want to eat the most? Halloween's about being scared or being spooky. What candy best embodies Halloween for its spookiness, scariness, creepiness? whatever that is. Just like in music, we don't have enough like Halloween music. What's a Halloween candy? Like this candy is Halloween to me.
So
what is it?
Okay, so I just want to make sure. So you don't mean like the candy doesn't have to itself be spooky. It's just which candy represents the feeling of Halloween the most, like that embodies Halloween in general?
I'm looking for a mixture of both. I'm looking for an embodiment, but I'm also looking for if a candy can embody scary, like this is spooky, like what's the scariest candy? You know what I mean? Because I think the scariest candy will be the Halloween candy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Does that answer your question by not answering your question, by answering your question?
I think my best bet is just to roll with it and see what happens.
Just roll with the punches and see what happens. Because a lot of these candies that are on this list, I will say I only encounter around Halloween, but I'm not a big candy person anyway outside of Halloween. I don't know about you.
Same.
I actually have a bag.
I also put Christmas in there too, though.
Yeah, Christmas comes along. I think Christmas is less candies and more like chocolate treats, though. Like we talked about like turtles, and we talked about Buckeyes. We did a lot of we talked about those things.
That's right.
Last year when we got to Christmas. But when it comes to Halloween, it's less about like making your own treats and more like you literally go out to the store and buy the big old bag of like 300 pieces of candy, and you just throw them at children when they knock on your door.
Right. Deservedly so.
Deservedly so. Get off my door. Trick or treat. Smell my feet.
I could see you like totally gaslighting kids. Like your porch light is on. You got the candy out there. And then when they show up, it's like, what are you doing at my doorstep? I never told you to come up here. Leave.
Get off my lawn.
Go trick or treat somewhere else. But you literally have a bowl of candy and your porch light's on.
Just a trap. I'm imagining what's illusion is not what I'm looking for, but like a mind trick illusion or whatever. A bowl that looks like it's filled with candy, but when you go up to like grab it, you know, like all the candy's like fake or paint or something, and you're like, oh, there's nothing in this bowl.
Right.
Optical illusion. That's what I was trying to think of. I'm like, illusion? Mind trick?
Oh, yeah.
Optical illusion. That's what I was trying to think of. So the candies we've got quite a few here.
Oh, boy.
There's quite a few here. We'll just run through them as we get to them. I see that there's like a whole lot. Whoever made this list was just really into Laffy Taffy. There's just different flavors of Laffy Taffy. That seems unnecessary, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
And our rankings go from scary as our S tier, as our A tier, boo as our B tier, because those would be the scary ones. Then there's just C tier. I couldn't think of a C word. And then D tier because I'd already given up at that point. And then a never had tier. Oh, wait, you got something? I can change it. You got a C word?
C could be spooky.
Okay.
You know, like could be. Or scary, whatever you want to put.
I'll take it. You have a D one?
But definitely not scary.
Def not spook is what I'm going to write.
Def not spook. I like it.
So we got scary, boo, could be spooky, def not spook, and just never had.
Yep, I like it.
There we go. Our first up on our tier list to consider is the 100 grand. If you're familiar with
I've ever had one of these.
If you're familiar with the 100 grand, I'm a big fan of the 100 grand. They're just like oopsie. Oh boy, I'm clicking things and this is a problem. Here we go. 100 grand, it's good. It's got like peanuts in it. I can probably get you a description for it. 100 grand candy. I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you what it is. Hang on. Does it tell me what's in it?
I'll tell you all about it.
It weighs 1.5 ounces. Okay, that's probably debatable. Includes chocolate, caramel, and crisped rice is what it is. I guess it's not nuts. It's rice. The bar contains 201 calories. It's really good though. So instead of nuts, it's got rice in it. I'm a big fan of these. They remind me of like a softer Crunch bar, honestly, in my opinion.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had one, so I'm going to leave this one up to you. For me, I don't think of Halloween at all because I'm familiar with the 100 grands, but it doesn't seem Halloween to me.
I like them a lot, and probably the only time I really encounter them is around Halloween, but kind of like I already said, usually I don't really deal with candy unless it's Halloween anyway, but I definitely like the little, because you can get them in the little size or whatever, and they're perfect for like handing out on Halloween. I like them a lot, but they're not spooky. I'm going to say, since you haven't had them at all, I think as in terms of it's a good one for Halloween, I would put it under the could be spooky, but I won't go above that since you haven't had it at all.
Fair. I think that's totally fair.
I like them. I like them a lot. They're delicious. I could eat a lot of them. Okay. Next up on this list, Airheads.
So, I freaking love Airheads.
Yeah.
Like, just as a candy.
Right.
When I was a kid, I used to pretend that they were my tongue because they looked like little tongues.
Ew, gross.
That was a fun thing to do. I would like get the whole long thing, put it in my mouth, and tongue. Tongue.
I guess you could almost see that if you're going for the spooky factor, right? You get like a green one, you're pretending it's your tongue. You're like, I'm a monster or something. I don't know.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Now, I guess right now we have a reference. Is it any spookier than $100,000? It's Airheads.
I feel like you'd have to do something with it because I'm imagining, which Airheads I've definitely had before. I've never had them for Halloween. They don't usually scream. They don't scream Halloween to me. But you could probably make it Halloween. You know, like you get like a bowl of like water and you put like grapes in it or whatever, and in the dark you let kids like put their hand in it and they think it's eyeballs or something. So you can make grapes spooky by like pretending they're eyeballs. If you do the Airheads and pretend they're tongues and have like a bowl of Airheads and tell people it's tongues and maybe
I feel like that would be really good. Yeah, or like you could make like this dish. People do this thing where they'll add the whole dish is edible, but it represents like a zombie face or something, and it's got a tongue sticking out, and it's Airheads. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know what it would be all made out of, but see, there's options. I mean, so it could be if used in the right way.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. Like I was initially on the Death Not Spook for this one because like when I think Airheads, I don't think spook, but like could be spooky.
Right.
Maybe is it even boo? Because since you said you used to do the tongue thing, we're not even hypothesizing right now. Like that's a thing you used to do, so maybe it's boo.
You know what? I'm fine with boo. Throw it in there.
Airheads?
Boo. I got a tongue.
Shockingly boo. Maybe that should be a more common Halloween treat.
Yeah. I think they're missing out on some marketing ideas here.
I think so. I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effort for them to release like a Halloween limited edition Airheads where they're like shaped vaguely like tongues, like rounded in a certain way or something. They could definitely do it.
They definitely could.
They could make like
I don't know. We should.
I don't remember what all the flavors are on Airheads, but they could have like a black licorice one too. That's like shriveled zombie tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like the green one could be like realistically could be like witch tongue or something. Like, you know. Yeah. Or you said zombie, like that could work too or something like that.
There's potential here. Airheads, call us up. We got ideas.
Yeah, reach out.
Reach out. This episode's sponsored by
whoever makes Airheads.
Whoever wants to fill in the blank, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, anybody. It does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Anybody. Anybody. We're not scrupulous. No scruples will be had. The next up on this list is Almond Joy. Not a big fan of Almond Joys myself because I'm not a big fan of coconut in my chocolate, but I know lots of people love Almond Joy, love coconut chocolate combos.
My relationship with Almond Joy has changed over the years. I used to not care for them, but as I've gotten older, I've cared for them more and more.
Is it because you like coconut
I do like
more
them
and
a lot
more?
now. Yes, that's exactly why. So I used to not like coconut stuff, and then like coconut related stuff. But then as I got older, I started to like it. I don't know why. My taste just kind of changed a little bit. So if it's there, I'm going to eat it for sure. So
I think it's kind of funny.
I don't see this
because you think Halloween, you think like trick or treaters, you think like kids get all the candy or whatever. But Almond Joy is kind of funny because it's not for kids. And all the commercials that I can think of, like the one that comes to my mind with Almond Joy is like the lady's like sitting at her cubicle in this office, this dingy office or whatever, and she like opens her purse and sneaks an Almond Joy. When she opens it, like the two palm trees like shoot up out of the cubicle or whatever. I feel like this is definitely like an adult's like treat. For some reason, I don't think this is ever marketed to kids ever. I've
never been interested in it as a kid. I know that. A kid. Mom, I want an Almond Joy. Can I have one of the Almond Joys out of the cupboard? Or whatever they'd say. Maybe not the cupboard, but whatever it is. No kid's asking for that.
I know I wasn't.
No, me neither. I don't know. And honestly, I don't... I don't know. I don't think it's spooky at all.
Yeah, I think this is def not spook, because when I think about Almond Joy, like if you're thinking about tropical paradise and coconuts and palm trees and stuff, that's def not spook.
Def not spook.
Def not spook.
I think lay it on there. Def not spook.
Def not spook. All right. D category. Def not spook. Next up on this
Sounds
list,
like a band.
I like it. That could be our pseudonym for our Halloween band when we release the Halloween album. Def not spook.
And it's DEAF.
Oh,
Def
okay.
not spook.
Like we can't hear.
Or something like,
Deaf.
you know, like, yeah, just we're deaf, our music's really bad. It's like a jab at ourselves sort of thing.
Like, I'm trying to think if there's another way to like punify the word spook, but I guess spook is what makes it the Halloween band. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to keep something in there.
I guess, yeah, def not spook. Next up on this list is the Baby Ruth. You've had a Baby Ruth before.
I love these things.
I love Baby Ruth. I always forget what's in a lot of these candy bars because so many of them are honestly so similar. Because this one's got peanuts in it. It's peanuts, caramel, milk chocolate, nougat. Delicious.
So flippin' good. Love the little baby ones, like the little tiny ones. That's usually how I've always eaten them. And I'm assuming that's because of Halloween, I'm assuming? I don't know. But that's how I remember them a lot as a kid, the little tiny ones. But I've had the long ones too, and that's a treat because it's a lot there.
Well, yeah, whenever you can get the king-size version of any of these chocolate bars, I mean, that's just... I hate that they're like $3 now or whatever to get like a big bar, like $3 or more or whatever. I don't know what they are, but it's like, oh, God, no, I want 5 of these, but I don't want to... I'm not slapping down $15 for it.
Look at that's a whole nother thing, but you're right. I just know the king-sized ones, when you're a kid especially, it makes you feel like a king. Like you're on top of the world, you've got your favorite thing in your hands getting ready to be eaten. Just you feel like a king.
I'm a king, not a peasant. I get the whole bar to myself. I'm not sharing.
Mother, please help me open this.
I require a whole-size Baby Ruth, Mother. Yeah, also, I can't open it past the scissors. The safety ones, please. I don't want to hurt myself.
No, I don't know why, but I cannot, in my head, get past just summertime eating this. For some reason, for me, it's summertime eating these.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sun's out, I'm eating a Baby Ruth. I don't know why.
Weirdly, me too, Baby Ruth just always reminds me of baseball. And that's probably because of
me too.
Babe Ruth, the player.
The name, right.
So, like, this reminds me of baseball all the time. Like you said, that's summery. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, Baby Ruth and Cracker Jacks. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
where my brain goes.
Yep. Me too. Cracker Jacks are super baseball.
That's exclusively baseball. No one's like, oh, yeah, like, it's Thanksgiving. I need some snacks for the football game. Let's get some Cracker Jacks.
That's
no.
fair.
Or
you're right.
let's go grab some brewskis and go watch the NASCAR game. I'll grab the Cracker Jacks. What?
You would no longer have a party coming with you to go to that thing.
It's like Cracker Jacks? What?
Really?
It's like
what you call me?
Like sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds and Cracker Jacks are exclusively baseball. That's the only way.
You lost me there, but only because I have very vivid, specific memories of my stepdad and sunflower seeds. But in general, I agree. I think anyone else would. I've just got specific memories.
Well, especially...
He used to gnaw on those things all day.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Was he gnawing on the shelled version? Because you can get the sunflower seeds without the shells. And that's just like if you want to eat like seeds or whatever. But the idea is that, yeah, in baseball, because you're outside, you just gnaw on seeds and spit out the shells.
Oh, I remember, like, I had, like, the brief time I played baseball as a kid, I remember the coach, he'd always be gnawing on it. I'm sure a lot of other people were, too.
Did you ever do the sunflower seeds playing baseball, and you're, like, you get, like, a handful of them, and you'd work through all the shells, but you try to, like, collect all the shells in, like, your cheek, like a pouch, so you could spit out, like, a bunch of them, like a machine gun?
Oh, yeah. I always kind of over, like, romanticized how awesome the spitting would be afterwards. Like I'd like rapid fire, but it never would be that way.
No, it's just gooping out.
Yeah, I was just hoping for, but no, it was, oh, you know, it just.
Oh, the disappointment.
Kids are so dumb. Like, we're just so excited to do this thing, and then it's so stupid.
Does it work out the way you think it will in your head? Because, of course, it wouldn't.
Nope.
I'm going to say Baby Ruth then goes under Deaf Not Spook, since it just brings us summer memories and not Halloween.
Deaf Not Spook. Delicious, but Deaf Not Spook.
Delicious, for sure. This one, I don't think I've ever had this. The next one on this list is Bit O' Honey. I don't think I've ever had them. You?
Oh, see, I completely associate these with Halloween.
Really? Okay.
It could be just a family thing. I don't know, but usually in our candy bags, or just in candy in general, also Christmas as well. But Bit of Honey was always in there. Not my favorite to eat. It gets stuck in your teeth and your gums for days, but I associated a lot with it.
Yeah, I'm looking up a picture of them. They do look like they'd be a nightmare to have in your teeth. Kind of like a Tootsie Roll a little bit, but clearly different.
It's a Tootsie Roll, but way
ingredient.
stickier and like thicker. But it is kind of like a Tootsie Roll. You're right. So I don't know what you could do to make it scary. I mean, to me, these are scarier than an Almond Joy for sure. Like, I feel like these could be spooky. I just don't know how they'd be implemented.
They've got the right color down. They've got that sort of beige, like they're slowly turning into maybe a pumpkin color or something. They've got the color down.
Right.
And, like, if they're super sticky and get caught in your teeth, you got that, like, fear that, oh, shoot, I'm going to, like, a tooth is going to come out with it as I'm chewing.
Exactly.
So, like, fear unlocked there. But especially as a
that
kid.
is scary. But that's more...
where you might actually lose a tooth as a kid because, baby teeth.
That's a good point. I was thinking, what are you talking about? Because I'm thinking I'd be more scared of that as an adult, of just how bad it is for your teeth.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you're a kid, you're not thinking about that stuff. But when you're an adult, like, this is, I don't know, this is just not good for me.
Well, any of these candies aren't going to be great for your mouth, but you're right, for sure.
But there's something about just, like, how much thicker it is. It's more prominent, at least to me, the way I see it.
Yeah, it looks like it's corn syrup, sugar, non-fat milk. I'm looking up almonds. Okay, cool. Honey, salt. Okay. I was looking to see what all's in it. It looks like it'd be tasty. Like I said, like a Tootsie Roll, but not chocolate.
My vote probably could be spooky. I don't really care where it's placed. I definitely think it has some of the vibes, even just in the packaging alone, kind of like you said.
Okay, we'll go under could be spooky. Could be spooky. Could be spooky.
Could be.
Since I don't have any experience with this myself. Next up on our list is Blow Pop, which I don't think I've ever associated with Halloween.
Love them once again, but yeah, I don't like it. Like, I picture Blow Pops in that big bag you have of candy, but I don't know if that's really but for some reason I don't picture this candy bag to be involved with Halloween. Like, I picture, because we did a lot of candy for Christmas. We didn't do a lot of the chocolates like you talked about. We did more candy then too.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, like, just at least in our household. But I do picture Blow Pops then. So, no, I don't know. I don't think it's really spooky.
I don't think so either. I more associate this with summer again myself. Like, more 4th of July. For anyone at home that doesn't know what a Blow Pop is, it's just a sucker, but in the middle there's chewing gum. So you get through the sucker and now you've got gum. So, like...
Not to be mistaken for a Tootsie Pop.
Which is a sucker, but then in the middle is a Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll, that's right.
I remember having a lot more Tootsie Pops as a kid than Blow Pops, but I know I've had Blow Pops before, for sure. I wasn't a big gum person as I got older. I liked gum as a kid, but eventually gum bothers my jaw, so I just don't.
Just don't deal with it.
I just don't like gum anymore. Right. I think for this being more like summer in my brain, and then like maybe you thinking more like Christmas for your candy or whatever, I'd say Def Not Spook.
Yeah, Def Not Spook's
Def
fine
Not
with
Spook.
me.
Def Not Spook. That's just fun. No spook. This one, definitely a Halloween treat for me, is Butterfinger.
Oh, that's what that is. I couldn't read it.
Yeah, Butterfinger. Now, I know it's not really Halloween themed necessarily, but that's like the only time I ever have Butterfingers around Halloween. I had one today, in fact.
I've never eaten a Butterfingers that wasn't in the small packaging, like the small mini versions that you would get in a Halloween bowl. I don't think I've ever had it outside of that.
I think I have, but like definitely in the small version out of a Halloween bowl is just somehow more common.
Yeah, it definitely is. I agree. I don't think it's scary, but it's definitely embodies Halloween, so it should still go up there.
I think so too. My question is, can it get to boo territory? Like, I think it could easily be the could be spooky, because something about it is just like, I don't know, it's yellow. Like for me, it's yellow. It's got that sticky fingers. It's got that sort of kind of like Bit of Honey was, where it's like it's almost like pumpkin-y colored or whatever. Butterfingers got that sort of yellows, because fall is like October and yellows and oranges. It's got maybe could be spooky vibes, but what would bring it to boo territory? What would elevate it?
Because I was thinking boo myself, to be honest with you, but I don't know, maybe even just like if we go the actual physicality of the candy, it's got a crunch to it.
It's got a crunch to it. It's literally called finger. Like you're biting into a finger.
You could be biting into a finger. There's just something about that crunch that it's hard. There's something about that alone. It's like, ooh, it's a little rougher around the edges. It's not soft like Bit of Honey. It's a crunch.
Ooh, yeah.
And we already got, Airheads up there, and that's soft. So we should definitely put Butterfinger above Airheads. I think it should go in boo above Airheads.
I'm down for that. I like that idea. It's got finger in it. I like the idea of like in the dark pretending to take a giant bite out of a finger, but it's actually a Butterfinger or whatever, and spooking the kids when they hear the crunch. I love the idea of it being something about Butterfingers, at least in boo territory. Maybe convinced to be territory if like you could go like all the way with it, but I don't know, by itself maybe not.
I think somebody could like pitch us on an idea to bring it up to like, oh, here's what you could do. I'm sure that the possibility is there, but we've just got a lot of
there's got to be potential. We've got a lot of candy. I don't know if we'll get through all of them or not. Some of them are like duplicates. So like anyway, we'll keep going. The next one on the list is, I've never had this before, I don't think. Scream egg. Scream spelled SCREME. Scream egg?
I'm not even. I've never even heard of this before.
When I Google it, I get like as like alternate searches. You get snack cakes, Cadbury cream, Cadbury egg, Cadbury Halloween. So this might be something that's more popular like across the pond. This might be a more English thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, very well could be. We're not across the pond.
Made with a rich milk chocolate shell and a green fondant. That's not the same as fondue. Fondant filling. With these Cadbury Scream eggs are a scary, delicious Halloween treat. So they're definitely Halloween.
I mean,
themed.
they look like it. When you said the Scream, I thought it, and the green itself, like that lime green kind of look, like the slimy, icky green.
Yeah.
So that checked out, but like we've never had it.
Yeah, neither one of us have had it. So the unfortunate thing is that it has to go into our never had territory. But it clearly looks like it's intended for Halloween. So if we try it, then we could properly analyze it. But for now, never had.
That could be fun sometime. Maybe if you and I maybe for a different episode sometime, we should if it's not too expensive, import like a couple different like things for us to try, like candies for us to try, and just like review for like a section. That might be fun.
Could be.
Could be. Talk about it. Like eat them together, like on the pod.
We'll fly and meet up somewhere. We'll meet up together in the same place and shoot a video. Not even podcast related. Make a whole new channel. It's just us reviewing candy.
We can keep it on the Profoundish brand, but yeah, Profoundish reacts. Not reacts. Profoundish.
Profoundish eats candy.
I don't know what you call it.
It's only a candy channel. Only candy. That's what I'm saying.
We get together once a year, so just one video a year.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, we could do it once a year, but it's like we shoot every video for that year in that day, and we eat so much candy that we single-handedly catch the diabetes in one day.
I mean, it kind of sounds worth it. I love candy. Well, you know what? I say that, but I don't love it that much. I don't love it enough to catch the diabetes in one day.
I do. I love chocolate. Never mind. I can eat a lot of chocolate in one sitting, but then like you start to get like, ooh, I've had a lot. But then I can go a long time without, but in one sitting I can do quite a bit.
Have you seen that? It's an old internet video, and it's like I think it's a dog, like a bulldog. Maybe it's a cat. Can't remember, but it's sitting in a car, and someone's holding the camera, the phone, and then it looks over at the camera, and it goes, diabetes. Just that low voice. Does that sound familiar at all to you?
I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar.
It's just a video of, I think it's a cat, actually. Just a cat. It looks at the camera, sitting in a car. It's nighttime, and there's just like the light on the inside of the car is shining down on the cat. It looks, and it just meows, but somebody overdubbed it with diabetes. It's just so funny.
I've not seen
I'll have
this.
to link it to you. It's good.
I will say, we have to get to this next one for sure. Candy corn.
Oh, yes.
Candy corn is a classic, literally only relevant around Halloween. This is the only time anyone cares about candy corn.
It's synonymous with Halloween and fall and all that. Funny enough, not scary.
No, I mean, there are things you can do with it.
Very Halloween.
Like you can, because it's like pointy, you can like stick it in things and make it like the teeth to a jack-o'-lantern or something. So there's things you can kind of do with it other than eat it, obviously.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Now, I categorize the pumpkins alongside these.
Like when
you know what I'm talking about? The candy pumpkins?
I'm not thinking of a candy pumpkin right now. Is it the same as like...
so it's the same exact... It's literally candy corn, but instead of it looking like candy corn, it looks like a little baby pumpkin. It's the same exact candy.
I'm gonna try to Google candy pumpkins because I know what you. Oh yeah, I have seen these. I just needed to see a picture to unlock it in my brain.
It's like a bigger bite of more candy corn, and I love candy corn. So yeah, it's so good.
I think I told you about this. Was a couple of years ago. This was after a Halloween a few years ago, and they had all the Halloween candy goes on sale, and I bought like 5 pounds of candy corn after Halloween because it was on sale, and it took me the entire year to go through, and I went through 5 pounds of candy corn. It took a year, but it was like I've just always got this because it's not like it goes bad. It's pure sugar.
Right. So there was probably throughout that year there was just a bunch of random nights where you just were working on the computer. You just got a handful of candy corn.
I'd have a little dish that I would like pour some candy corn into, and like while I was like streaming or editing a video or whatever, I'd be snacking on little pieces of candy corn.
So in my head, it was even funnier what I was envisioning. So I picture this as like the 90s dad, so like our dads, like holding like a handful of nuts and like shaking their hands in their palm and slowly eating some. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? I was picturing you like that, but with candy corn, just shaking a little bit, have a few, pour it in your mouth, hold them some more.
You probably could, except my hands get so just generally sweaty that you get that situation where because they're made out of just pure sugar, you start to get sticky.
Right.
But otherwise,
yeah, that's fair.
If it were a nut, I'd be right there with you. I'd get that.
I think in spirit, we should put candy corn.
It's got to be at least
I don't know,
right?
I was going to say at least I mean, I would put it just at dang near scary because it is the Halloween candy. I mean, it truly is. Fall, but Halloween and fall.
True.
So,
well, especially if, like you said, if it went, like, I wonder, like, if we went with instead of the candy corn, like the candy pumpkin, would that elevate it to scary? Just be like, it's officially, like, it's pumpkin, you can decorate with it. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, and here's the thing, is that you can buy candy corn and pumpkin mixes, like, together. So, keeping that in mind, I know that's not exactly what we see here. But, I mean, you can get the candy corn pumpkin mix. Okay. So, and that is super I mean, that's up at the top. Like, I don't know. You know what? Here's what I think.
Yeah.
We're clocking in at an hour here, right? So our time's wrapping up. We could end right here on candy corn, and I would feel so good putting it right at the top there.
I think I'm there with you. I think, because there's so many candies to go through. There's just so many. I think for our list today, and we can return to this later to hit some of the other candies we didn't get to. I think candy corn, put it in scary. And for today, we hereby declare candy corn to be the scariest candy available for your Halloween experience. Followed by, in the boo territory, the Butterfinger and Airheads, followed by the could be spooky territory with 100 grand and the bit of honey, and the def not spook category, Almond Joy, Baby Ruth, Blow Pop, and we collectively have never had Scream Eggs. It's a small
which is
list,
probably,
but
by technicalities, probably the scariest.
The Scream Egg, like visually speaking, has like more going on for it than anything else we've done in terms of Scream, scary. We just haven't had it.
We never had it though. Yeah.
So that's just the way it's gonna be, I guess.
That's right.
That'll wrap it up for our list today. Glad to talk about some candies. There are other candies that I definitely, I've got this big old bag of, I mentioned Crunch earlier. I've got a big old bag of Butterfinger Crunch. Shoot, I already forget what's in my bag. I bought a big old bag of candy here not too long ago. But I've been, I think Baby Ruth. I think Baby Ruth, Crunch, Butterfinger, and something else. I don't even remember. But I'm just slowly eating my way through that right now. I'm not going to give it to kids. It's for me.
Yeah, it is for him.
The porch light is off.
I might actually do that too. Yeah, don't gaslight kids. Don't do it, Weston. I know that I gave you an idea when I said that.
Well, I'm going to gaslight kids all the time if I interact with them, but I'm not trying to interact with them.
Wait a second, Weston. Literally, Magic Man Mo is half wet. Like, it's just partly just gaslighting.
It really is. Like, there is, depending on what the Magic Man Mo brand, I sometimes interact with kids that find my stream. They're like, play Roblox, play Minecraft, whatever. So I interact with kids from time to time, and my job is to gaslight them. That is my job as a streamer.
That is hilarious. It's like, wow, yeah, he's already got experience.
I am an experienced child gaslighter. That's probably not... There's probably some context where that's not okay to say out loud.
Put that on your LinkedIn.
That's going on my LinkedIn. That's going on my resume. You need a 7-year-old child gaslit into believing anything. I'm your guy.
I'm your guy.
That's before I can dig myself into any further graves. Thank you all so much for listening to Profoundish. Wherever you're listening to us, make sure you give us a like or 5 stars or a favorite or a rating of some kind and a follow, subscription. Any of those things would be fan-freaking-tastic. Also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at ProfoundishPod. Alex, where can we find you?
You can find me. There's one place I want you to find me if you're feeling in the Halloween spirit, and that is you should go to my YouTube channel. You can just type in my name, Alex Duquette, and watch my 10 iconic horror movie theme songs in 2 minutes medley. Check it out. It's got all kinds of classics. Talk about Weston, like 80s horror movies. It's got The Shining in there. It's got The Thing. It's got a lot of these classics, so check it out.
It's really good. I've seen it already. I had an advanced copy.
Yeah, he's already seen it.
I've already rated it. You can check out me at Magic Man Mo on YouTube if you're into video games. I do a lot of random flash games and point-and-click games and internet games, and yeah, check it out. It's a bunch of random stuff, but you'll find something. You'll find something you like if you're into games. Come join me. It's really goofy. Come gaslight everybody. Come gaslight children with me in a live stream. Yeah. It'll be great.
Let's work together.
But whatever you all do, thank you once again for listening to Profoundish. Until next time.
All right.